let's start off by saying congratulations on this album. Holy Mother's Rise is quite an incredible album. It's so clean, such an amazing sound. What can you tell me about this album? Where did the inspiration for it come from?
So the album, the recording process itself started about, I'm going to say a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. I joined the band in August of 2022. And so when I joined, some of the album was already being written, but, I got in on the process a bit, and it kind of just sprouted from there. Um, you know, the sounds kind of just all came together. It was a lot of Mike and drummer Jim Harris. They did a lot of stuff. I did more like adding on and just kind of giving solos and stuff. And it just kind of blossomed from there. And it honestly, I think it's an album that we're all pretty proud of, and I think it's going to be it's going to go over very well.
Yeah, I see the mic is joining. Let me let him in quickly. Hi, Mike. I had asked Mike about where did the inspiration for this new album come from, because it's a really good album, really clean.
Right. Basically, I mean, a lot of the songs that I wrote along with Jim Harris, as far as the songs on this album, a lot of the inspiration comes from just whatever's happening right now. A lot of stuff like Fire and stuff like that. The first video that we shot, it's just a song about a toxic love addiction. That's like never ending. And just keeps haunting forever. So it inspired me to write the song, knowing that people who just can't get out of their own relationship and finally put an end to their misery, pretty much. That's what Fire is about. But it inspired me to write it from the start of the song, with the eeriness of my daughter Violet's voice in the front of Fire. It gave me like a inspiration to to sing the vocal melody and come up with something melodically.
Nice. For me, the songs were an incredible set list. It flows together perfectly. But for some reason, Jeremiah really stuck out to me. What can you tell me about that song?
It's funny because Jeremiah came a little bit later on during the record as I was writing and stuff like that. I just wanted, you know what it was? I just got a 7-string guitar, and I always do like the tuning downs, and Mickey knows. And when I first plugged it in, I was like, wow, I love the way this sounds, blah, blah, blah. So it kind of inspired me to play just a simple bluesy riff that I thought sounded really heavy. It's bluesy and like my wife thinks it's a Black Crowes meets Ronnie James Dio kind of song, And then with the melody, Jeremiah was a bad man. Really is not in particular about anyone named Jeremiah. But it's basically about there's so many different people in the world that we got, all these different outlets on social media that they're trying, everything's a scam, and everyone believes in this and believes in that. And then the next day it's a different thing, So basically, everyone can draw their own picture about who Jeremiah is.
For Mickey, you're coming into a band that's already established. They have a great sound. What is it like to come into a band like that, and how do you what do you bring to the band?
Good hair.
Well, I yeah, young age. No, I'm just joking. I bring well, just backtracking on it. It's honestly just a blessing and a pleasure because joining a band, it can be a lot of work. But with this, it very much just flowed easy. Everything kind of came into fruition. I mean, surrounded by phenomenal musicians like Mike, even Jim, phenomenal, and then Wayne Banks, bass player. He's just, everyone's just professional. So it's always nice. I'm always a big believer in you shouldn't be the best musician in the room. If you are, you're in the wrong room. And I've just, for me, it's a different playing style to bring to the band, because every guitar player has their own kind of spin on things or taste or how they play. So I think it's been nice to incorporate what I do into the band. I'm big into social media, so it's always been cool to kind of help shape some of the stuff, social media wise that we do. But yeah, honestly, it's a very easy flowing band. But we get stuff done. We're a very fun band, but we know how to be productive.
Definitely. The sound of Holy Mother is incredible. It's a mesh of so many different styles. How did that style come to be, and how do you continue it when you have new members come in?
It's funny you say that. I mean, Holy Mother, as you know, released Toxic Rain and Criminal Afterlife in the late to middle 90s, and it was more of a power metal, thrash metal sound. And then we took a 18-year hiatus, and then decided to bring it back. And then in all that time, you're kind of inspired by a lot of different music that that you hear in all the other bands that that we're in. Even Mickey's in so many different bands, and so you learn, as a musician, and try to incorporate where your roots were, and then also incorporate some of the modern stuff or different styles into what you're doing now. And also being on the road, playing in Europe so many times in the last 3 or 4 years, I'm seeing what the European market brings to the table. So when I was writing it, a lot of times I'm trying to appeal to the American crowd and then trying to appeal to the European crowd as well. And I think we definitely established that and conquered that on this album. I mean, we got the, like Fire and Elevator is got, it's got a little bit of both. And Jeremiah seems to go over really big here in the States so far, even though the album's not out yet until June 7th. I think Jeremiah is more of an American sound, like some people said it's a heavy Southern rock, Black Crowes meets Ronnie James Dio.
Definitely. Having incorporated Mickey into the band, he brings like he said, a youthfulness to the band, a different style. How important is it to continue with a band that, even though you guys have different styles, you guys play in different bands, you guys come together and you guys have a similar mindset and bring this band to a new level.
Yeah, answer that, Mick.
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question?
How important is it to have people with the same mindset to bring a band to a whole different level? Whether you guys are youthful or you guys are bringing in different styles.
Well, I just think it's a matter of keeping a positive room. You know what I mean? For me, one of the biggest things is you have to have a positive room. You have to have a band that all will like die for all that are just all with each other. We're all all good with each other, which I think is very important. I think that helps mesh a lot of things. You know what I mean? Even if musically sometimes you don't see eye to eye, well, if you have respect for one another, you figure it out, you make it work. And I think that's what's great about this band is we keep a very positive and light room. Nothing's worse than going into a rehearsal studio or a recording studio and thinking, I don't want to see this person today. But with this band, it's a very good energy. We're all just psyched to be there. We're all happy to be there. And I think it comes across in our live show. It comes across in our recordings. I think it comes across pretty much everywhere that we're a band that, it's a family. And I think that's very important for the whole meshing of it, of wanting to create that atmosphere.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, and Holy Mother started mid 1990s. Social media wasn't a thing. Nobody really cared about social media. How is it bringing in that aspect to the band now? That you guys are continuing with your music.
Well, the band started in 94 and put out our first album, I think in 95. And then, like I said, Toxic Rain and Criminal Afterlife were 1998, 1999. There was no, internet pretty much then, like you said, but now it's everything. So you either change with the times or you die. It's what you have to do. The only thing I'm not happy about is where the industry went as far as free music, free downloads, free this, free that. It makes it really hard for bands to get out and tour and make a living at original music. It's putting a damper on it. There's so many different tribute bands and copy bands, and I understand this. It's been a long history of music since Black Sabbath started in 1968 or whatever. They didn't have too much of a history in the style that they were doing or whatever. But you know what? We don't want musicians' creativity to fall by the wayside. We got to create. My favorite thing is being creative. I love singing other people's music. Don't get me wrong, especially Ronnie James Dio and all the people that I grew up with. But to be creative yourself is just social media. It's a great thing, but also has its negativities as far as making a living, as far as selling your music. If we sold 30,000 vinyls, it would be amazing today.
Definitely. And since the industry has changed so much in such a short period of time, how do you continue on with this style? How do you continue on being high quality in the way you guys want to, yet also taking into consideration feedback from fans, from the industry, from what's working? How do you continue with all that?
Well, like Mick was saying, we got a great chemistry going on in the band. Everybody's got the same goals. That's important. We're focused on that same goal. We want to be the band that goes out and is able to headline the bigger venues like we did with Doro in March. That was an amazing tour. And we love what we do. I love, writing music. Mickey, the same thing. Mickey, you're just focused on the same thing, and getting out there and playing is what we really love. Live shows is where it's at. If you're a musician, you got to get out and play. You can't just go in your studio. Everyone's got a home studio today. You can go in your studio and put out something and like auto tune everything and have all fake this and fake that. And that's not where it's at. You got to have your soul involved in what we're doing, and that's why we continue. And again, the vibe is great.
Definitely. Do you have anything to add to that, Mickey?
No, I think Mike pretty much hit it on the head with that.
Awesome. Well, to both of you, congratulations on this album. It is very high quality. I think with the way things are with social media, with the industry, with everybody being able to put out there whatever they want to, you guys continue with a high quality, continue with a clean sound, and it's levels above a lot of the stuff that is put out today. So thank you very much for your time, and congratulations on this album.
Yeah, well, thank you for the interview. We appreciate it. Anything helps promote, like I said, original music, and you supporting it as well is very appreciative of us and Holy Mother.